Hey everyone, my name is Eric Rodsep and this is Libertarians at Large. Today we are having our fellow at-large members. Our first guest is Valerie.
Hey.
And we're also joined by Laura Ebke, also members at large with me on the LNC. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. How's everyone's Thanksgiving?
Well, there we go. Great. Yeah, it was great.
Good stuff. Did anyone do anything special?
Yeah, I did. I broke the law.
Good for you.
I mean, I guess it wasn't the law, but we're having the repercussions from what we did. So we traveled out of New England, and the recommendation is if you travel out of New England, then you have to self-quarantine for 14 days. The CDC actually just changed that to 10 days today. I don't know if you guys saw that. So the recommendation for quarantine is 10 days now, but our kids' school is still sticking to 14 days. So they are doing remote learning for the next 14 days. And now I'm regretting leaving New England because it is challenging, but we had a really nice Thanksgiving and got to see my family and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we had we didn't break the law, I don't think. We had 7 of us at our house. My immediate family, it was my immediate family that 4 of us that always lived together. And then my oldest daughter and son-in-law and granddaughter came down. And, it's okay. But if the granddaughter comes, I will risk the COVID to see them. So far, we're all okay. So that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
It's been over a week since.
That's what it's all about is family, right? So.
Yeah.
So how about you? What about you, Eric? You built this outside kitchen or something, right?
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, my normal job as a day job is a home inspector. So with everything going on in the world, I kind of figured that this would be a dead year. It was going to be very slow, and I created myself a project to get through the slow times. So I was building an outdoor kitchen, pizza oven, gas grill, wood pellet smoker, refrigeration, sink, everything. I mean, I went soup to nuts, a whole hog on this one. And, long story short, it never slowed down. Actually, for me, it got busier because everyone wanted bigger houses and more stuff and everything. So at least in North Carolina, the housing market is insane.
Yeah.
So I didn't build it on the schedule that I wanted to, but I've finally now gotten to the point where I have an outdoor kitchen. Actually, tomorrow is the first time I'm firing up the wood pellet smoker. I'm going to be making a whole bunch of sausages out there. And then during the LNC meeting on Saturday, I'm going to be smoking bacon. So I'm really kind of excited about it.
Can you transport that smell into us so that we can,
check and see if we have COVID?
Smell-o-vision or something, right?
But I will definitely look into that. And if not, Zoom needs to work on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Your outdoor kitchen looks so amazing. I'm like, oh, if Nick could do that, I'd be all over it. But we probably would have to have you come in and do it.
Well, you know what?
So I'll be honest. I have never done bricklaying to that scale ever before. And I taught myself a brand new skill, and I have a newfound respect for anyone who's a bricklayer out there. Definitely, that is an art that definitely is well respected in my opinion.
My husband's very handy that way, and he built when we built our house. He didn't do the house, but he did do the the big mailbox out front with the brick lane that matches and everything, and it looks really good. And 17 years later, it's still standing, so that's a good thing. But the problem we always have with all of these projects is that they never get done. When we built our house, when we built our house in 2002, he told the contractor, he says, I've got my shop He says, I'm going to do the surrounds for the televisions and in the family room and down in the basement in the rec room and all this sort of stuff. Well, we've been here 17 years and one of them still hasn't been done. The one in the basement and then in the rec room. And the funny thing is that my son now lives in the basement. He's a 17-year-old and that's sort of his place. And he's got this, this gas fireplace that has nothing around it, right? It's just sitting out there kind of in the middle of nowhere. And, he says, suppose we could get this done before I move out. I said, well, you can help your dad anytime because we didn't have Isaac when we moved in. So Isaac has never known what it's actually supposed to look like. So.
Okay. As far as things never getting accomplished or whatever. So this has now been a 10-month project. And just to make it easy, I kept all my tools by the glass door and all of that stuff that leads to the backyard. And it has been a bone of contention between Alex and I because there's this big pile of tools and mess right next to the door. It has made us both of us very happy that those tools have now moved back into their respective homes and the living room and kitchen area are returning back to normal. So it's very nice.
Okay, so what should we talk about today? We're going to talk about what's going on. I can tell you something about what's going on in Wyoming with Marshall Burt, our new state legislator out there, new Libertarian.
Absolutely.
I've talked to him the other day. Talked to him a couple of different times, and he's going like gangbusters. He hasn't even been sworn in yet, but he's got a legislative agenda ready to go to bring more liberty to the people in Wyoming. So that's exciting.
That is really exciting. Actually, our first question is coming from Ryan Jenkins. How will we promote youth involvement through the Libertarian Party? Thank you, Ryan, by the way, for the question. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great question. And okay, so I can tell a story. When back many years ago, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, as I call my kids, I was active in another party's youth movement, Teenage Republic. Yeah. Anyhow, and they were very active at that time, and I think it's really important for us to get teenagers involved. It's important for us to even get younger kids involved. When I was a kid. My dad was the county chairman, and we'd have these big events and rallies and stuff. And as I remember, as 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, I'd be out carrying signs for the candidates. And that's where you train people up when they're younger. Get them to love it when they're young, and then they stick around. And that's something that I think that libertarians haven't always been good at, but maybe we're getting better. I noticed that Jared said that we needed to clarify for people what Libertarians at Large is for people who are just showing up, right? Hey, Ryan, great. You're 13 and you should start a teenage libertarians club. And you could be the first national chair of the teenage libertarians. That would be amazing.
Ryan runs the Tennessee Young Libertarians.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I follow Ryan on Facebook and various other social media, and I'm really excited to say that he's actually the head of
Tennessee
Young Libertarians of Tennessee, and he's a real go-getter and activist for the Libertarian Party in Tennessee, and he's amazing. And we've also got Jordan, who's 19. And he's watching the show, so hey, that's awesome too. We've got a lot of libertarian youth, and that's really exciting to see that so many individuals who are young are getting involved.
Yeah. Can I say something?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
So So my big drive to run for At Large was to get more women and families involved. And I'm shadowing what Laura said, showing your children that this is a normal activity, to go to protests and to go to rallies and to attend meetings. Up until 2016, the National Convention didn't have any kind of plan for what to do with the kids that were there. So there was really no children there. And so therefore the parents, some of the mother or the father, were staying home. And so somebody was missing out. So why not involve the kids, the mom, the dad, the parents, the grandparents, whatever, whoever's there, whoever the caretaker is, and the kids, and show them, hey, this is what we do. And this is what mom and dad do. Here's a sign. Show your Johnson Weld sign for everybody. But also not just be like, hey, here's my kid, push him out in front, but why are we doing this? And all of this is just a huge teaching thing. And sometimes my kids are like, is Gary Johnson your best friend? Because they're kids. But if we start them showing them this is how we do, then they can make that decision later. Do they want to stay being a libertarian with us, or do they want to be disowned,
Absolutely. So actually, Laura, you were saying that you were kind of giving us an introduction, and what is Libertarians at Large about?
Yeah. Well,
I think that's great.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to understand that this is not intended to be necessarily a hard-hitting policy-based show. It's sort of it's sort of evolved into sort of a, us sitting around shooting the breeze, letting people know that we're accessible, and just talking about topics of the day and things that are related to libertarianism, obviously. But we are Libertarians at Large, not the regional reps. And so we have sort of a unique role on the LNC.
Yeah. And I think you also raised a great point. We are accessible, and this is a great way to show how, our accessibility and our interactivity with the party at large. A lot of people think of the LNC or Libertarian, LNC at Large members as these lofty individuals, and we're libertarians just like everybody else, and I think that type of access and that type of interactivity is really important to spurn on and get that type of out into the libertarian community, and having the libertarian community come to us. I think that's one of the most important parts of this show.
Yeah, and we try to, we try to catch questions when people ask questions in the chat, we don't catch them all, but we do try to find some of them and respond when they make sense to respond to.
Very true. And the other thing that we love doing every single week is the news quiz. So, are we ready for?
Okay, this is the question, Eric. If will you still help us?
Yeah, you have to.
Because there's some of these things that you're the only one that knows the answer to.
Okay. So in the last week and a half, because of Thanksgiving and really putting a lot of effort into the outdoor kitchen, I have not been keeping up with the news like I should. So I don't know how much of a help I'm going to be this
Probably
week.
as much as me. I drove 9 hours. I drove 9 hours on Sunday listening to Kids Bop. So.
Oh, those days.
So there we go. There is the news quiz. Do we need to make that full screen so everyone can see it?
I'll just go like this.
Yeah, let's go for it. All right. So the first question is, in which state did Republican members of a county elections board refuse to certify election results, only to reverse themselves after an outcry from voters and state officials? Do we have any ideas? It's Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, or Pennsylvania.
I'm going with Georgia. I feel like I've heard a lot about Georgia.
Yeah.
I know it's not. Well, I think we can all agree that it's not Nevada.
Right.
And I haven't heard anything come out of Pennsylvania in any degree like this. So I would say it has to be Georgia or Michigan. And we have Jared saying it was Georgia. We have Tim saying, actually, Alex says it's PA. Tim says it's going to go with Georgia. Sabrina says it's either Georgia or Pennsylvania. So we've got some lifelines out there too. Any hints or guesses from YouTube? Because I'm leaning with Georgia or Michigan, but I don't know.
I think it's Georgia. Did you hear
Georgia?
The GOP chair? I think if Georgia was like, "Hey guys, don't vote in the runoff."
So we're going to select Georgia, and no, it's Michigan. So Republican members of a key Michigan elections board refused on Tuesday to certify Detroit's election results in a nakedly partisan effort to hold up Joe Biden's victory over President Trump.
Wow.
So that begs another really interesting question. I mean, obviously, as libertarians, we don't support Trump or Biden. We are solid Joe Jorgensen supporters. But what is our opinion on something like this, like a nakedly partisan, or just the effects of holding up an election result like this? I mean, I know I'm horribly against it. It's what the people demand. It's I mean, I'm not happy with the results. I wouldn't have been happy if Trump won either. But what are your opinions on it?
Oh, I agree. The people voted. I mean, at this point, it's like, who cares? Like, they both suck. Joe didn't win, and it doesn't matter. They're both horrible people. But the people voted majority for Joe Biden. So what are you going to do? You're going to be like, oh, we got Michigan. What do they have 14 electoral votes? Like, okay, you're still not going to do anything. It's still not going to change anything. You're just acting like an asshole. Sorry.
Well, and
I don't think we're on
NC-17.
Yeah, we're not on regular broadcast, so you can go for the gusto.
I think here's what I think that we have to remember is that that in this whole mess, that there's not enough difference. If it was one state, I mean, you could make the case for continuing the count, recounting over and over again, just to make sure that you've got that one state right. If it was going to make a difference, like Florida back in 2000. But I think it's hard to make the case when you got 4 or 5 states that, I mean, they look pretty desperate. I don't know if you guys saw the, Jared is the one who showed me this, but the thing up in Michigan yesterday, I think it was, when this woman gets up and, she's almost arguing with the legislature about how terrible the election system was and how she knows that there were hundreds of thousands of votes that were stolen in Michigan. It's like, give it up at some point, people.
Yeah, it's two sides of the same coin. So
move on.
It really is. Really is. Okay, next question. There we go. Which drug maker reported promising preliminary results from its coronavirus vaccine trial on Monday, just 1 week after similar news from Pfizer and BioNTech? So is this AstraZeneca, Moderna, Invio, or Zydus Cadila? Okay, I'm sorry if anyone from those companies are listening, but I probably slaughtered your company's name, and I do apologize.
I feel like it was Moderna.
Yeah, we've talked actually about this a lot. So yes, I totally agree, and actually, Jared agrees, and David agrees. So yeah, I'm solid on Moderna here. And yes, it is Moderna.
Because I almost said the other one.
The Massachusetts-based drug maker Moderna announced on Monday that the coronavirus vaccine was 94.5% effective, joining Pfizer, a front runner in the global race to contain the raging pandemic that has killed 1.2 million people worldwide. I mean, okay, so I guess we're libertarians. We have many different views on vaccine, and none of them make forced vaccination a thing. So I think we at least can all agree on that. But this is really interesting technology. I mean, just the technology behind it. I mean, I don't want to talk about the ethics of a vaccine or anything like that. But this is the first real RNA vaccine that humanity has ever created. I mean, just the technological implications and the fact that government kind of got out of the way to let this happen. I'm excited. I'm still on the fence if I'm going to be jumping up and down to get the vaccine. But I mean, I'm very happy that it's there. I'm very happy that, it's moving forward and that option is there. What is everyone else's take on this?
Yeah, I'm not like getting the flu shot every year. I'm not that kind of person. I wash my hands. I stay away from people who are sick or whatever. But I told everybody, I will go and get that vaccine. I am so tired of wearing masks. I am so tired of not being able to see my grandma. I'll be the front of the line. I don't care. If I die, I die. Whatever. I've lived a good life. Okay. But I'm not. This is something that I don't care. I trust them because the government got out of the way. If the government was like holding everything up, I think I might I feel a little bit different about this. This is like a free market. This is literally the first free market vaccine that we've had, right?
Yeah, actually, I think the last vaccine may have been smallpox with cowpox, and that was completely an accident because that was nature created. So
yeah, my husband is a family doctor, and so we do tend to get flu shots every year, just because he's dangerous if he gets it and brings it home to us. But he gets his flu shot, and I typically get a flu shot, and my kids get shots for one reason or another. Most of the time, not we're not religious about it, but I think that it's I'm not scared of getting the shot. I mean, I've told people that, well, maybe not the first one. I don't want to be the first one to get. My husband will be the first one in our family since he's a healthcare provider, and so we'll see how that works out for him. If it works okay for him, the rest of us will get in line.
Yeah, I'll be the test dummy. I would have talked to the guy who just called me a fool. Big deal. It's me. It's not. I'm not making you get the vaccine. I'm not making my kids get the vaccine. I'm not making my husband get the vaccine. I will go get it. And then if I die, you guys don't have to get it. Can I also say to the guy who's asking about the Free State Project?
Mm-hmm.
I saw two questions about the Free State Project. So I live in New Hampshire, and we moved here because of the Free State Project. Unfortunately, the Libertarian Party in New Hampshire is not a recognized party. So we have quite an uphill battle to be recognized as libertarians, as free staters. A lot of the people that are free staters that run for office run as Republicans. That's not my favorite thing, but they tend to stick to libertarian leaning policies and things like that. So that's all. Now we can get back to the quiz, but he's asked two questions now.
No, absolutely. I think that's actually really important that, if we see a question come across that we definitely address it. Okay, question 3. Which model of the Boeing airplane has been cleared by Federal Aviation Administration to fly again? All right. Because what? I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Whatever you're going to say, that's right.
Don't take my word. That's dangerous. That is very, very dangerous. So we've got Jay saying that it is the MAX, the 737 MAX. Actually, Jared has also come in with 737 MAX. So is Alex.
They're probably right.
Yeah, I would. Whoa.
Everybody's saying MAX.
So yeah, we went with the 737 MAX, and yes, it is correct. Boeing got clearance on Wednesday for the 737 MAX to return to the American skies after convincing the FAA that changes in design, software, and crew training would eliminate the flaws caused fatal crashes in 2018 and 2019. Okay. Opinions on the FAA. I mean, this is... I don't know. I mean... Valerie, you look like you're itching to say something.
I mean, I feel like they could have kept flying that plane, and then people would have just not. I mean, now I sound like somebody who's like, no, the people could die from COVID. Who cares? Like the plane could have crashed a couple of times, and then people would have been like, we're not flying on that plane again. I don't know. The FAA is good for some things, but I don't know. I think that Boeing could have fixed it without the problem. Without the FAA stopping the flights for, how long has it been? 2 years?
Yeah, it's been almost 2 years at this point.
And like this, Alex Lieberman said he would never fly on that plane. Like that's market driven. You're not going to fly on that plane. You would know when you book your flight, that's the plane. Just don't fly on it.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, and I totally agree. And a lot of airlines, even before the FAA said, hey, a lot of airlines actually grounded it before there was an FAA mandate. So, I mean, the market was already responding. There was a lot of individuals who were refusing to fly on the aircraft because, the aircraft was rolled out way too soon. There were too many hidden bugs, and it was a huge problem. I'm glad actually that Boeing has pretty much weathered the storm, and it looks like they're going to make it through this. But I mean, hey, that was even in question for a while. So,
yeah.
Next question. The Trump administration plans to sell leases that would allow oil and gas drilling in which area? The Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, the Everglades National Park, Frank Church River and No Return Wilderness, or Lake Michigan? I think this one's pretty easy.
It's the Arctic, isn't it?
Is it?
What?
The Arctic?
I would totally agree with you, and we've got plenty of people that are commenting and saying that it's the Arctic as well, and yes, it is. So on Monday, the Trump administration announced that it would begin a formal process of selling leases to companies in a last-minute push to allow oil and gas drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge in Alaska. Okay, so here's the thing, and this is just my opinion. Nobody's going to buy any of these leases because currently on the open market, because of Corona, because of a million other things that are going on in the commodities market, oil is currently selling at approximately $42 a barrel. Yeah. And it is well known that Arctic oil costs almost $98 a barrel to produce. So this is kind of ridiculous that anyone would even think about this right now because there's no profit. I mean, Shell has almost completely stopped all operations in Alaska for the last 2 years because of the price of oil. Saudi Arabia is producing oil at $3 a barrel right now. And one of the reasons Venezuela is having such economic issues, beyond the fact that they're a socialist nation and completely shooting themselves in the foot on a daily basis, but because the government has overtaken their oil production, their production costs are over $60 a barrel, which is higher than the entire value of oil in the open market anyway. So no one's buying Venezuelan oil, so they're just compounding their own problems. There's no oil company that would buy any of these leases because it's not profitable. What does anyone else think about this?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
This is just a political stunt in my opinion.
Yeah.
Eric, who didn't watch TV and didn't talk about anything.
Okay, well, oil is and all of this is kind of one of my study points that I always read about, and so
Jared makes a good point. What I was thinking, they're gonna buy the lease and then wait. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, well, is anybody that dumb? Like the lease is probably more than they would get. out of the
Yeah,
in a couple of years.
You're taking too large of a risk on the potential of return that may not come for many, many years.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Peruvian debacle continues, and actually Peru is also in this oil predicament where their production cost of oil is higher than the global market right now, but that's another story. So
before you do this question,
I'm sorry, what?
Before you do this question, can you tell everybody what happened in Peru? Because I know that you know this, and I can't remember all of the things about like having 3 different presidents or something like.
Right. Well, actually, they're coming on their 4th president, 3rd president in a week, because when we talked last 2 weeks ago, they had just appointed a new president, and he has now resigned. So they are now on to president number 4. The first president that they had was accused, but there's been no concrete evidence actually brought forward that he was involved in huge amounts of skimming off the top and stealing money from the government. It's completely plausible, but there isn't a sufficient paper trail yet. However, it's very likely that it will actually occur. The opposition party is who nominated the first president, and then it came out very quickly that he was dirty, and then they appointed a newly elected individual from academia, and he lasted a week until he threw up his arms and said, no, this is your problem. And now they are going back to academia to bring in their next president, but this individual has never been elected and has never even sought office in the past.
Sounds like Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll look great, won't it?
Of course, going through this entire conversation, I just realized I inadvertently answered the question. But
good, because I didn't know the answer.
So yeah, we'll look at this. Peru's interim president Manuel Merino stepped down last Sunday. How long did he spend in office? It was less than a week. I already answered that question, and I do apologize. That's my bad.
No, but it's important for like some people who are new to our show and who don't follow the news, such as myself, to know what the heck is going on in Peru, because Peru's not on the news anywhere. You know, it's COVID. It's not. Look, Peru is crazy right now. Pretty soon it'll be good to travel there with the cost of the dollar, right?
Well, and actually, that was one of the other problems with the original president was the response that his people felt that he had to COVID. And that was also a secondary factor in the entire thing as well. So there was a lot going on with the removal of the first president, because actually the percentage-wise, Peru is the highest infected percentage-wise with corona in the world. So yeah, there was a lot of questions about how things were handled and information disseminated and all of that stuff. So there was a lot of problems. And they actually had a very serious lockdown too. It actually is one of the examples where lockdowns did nothing to prevent the spread of corona. Question number 6. Which country singer is being hailed as a pandemic savior because she donated $1 million to fund research for a vaccine? Our options are Casey Musgraves, Roseanne Cash, Loretta Lynn, or Dolly Parton.
I know this one.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No.
Dolly Parton, you said?
Yeah, Dolly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
So good, because I had no clue on this one.
Really?
No.
Casey Musgraves sings the most libertarian songs.
Yep, you're right. Dolly Parton. This spring, Miss Parton donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University, and this I should have known because this all happened in Tennessee. And my partner's from Tennessee, so I should have really known this.
And North Carolina is close to Tennessee.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're a border state. So, I mean, I actually feel really bad that I had no clue that any of this was
you didn't know one question. Boo-hoo.
Oh, shush. I don't know a lot of these. I fake it till I make it. Come on. You know this. Okay.
You know, we should just say, I mean, Dolly Parton has done a lot for her community, for her state.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, she is, we lived in Tennessee for a while, and I was amazed even back in the early 90s, you know, what she was doing for the kids in her area. So yeah, she should be given a, you know, fist bump for being a good person.
Yeah.
But this is the way it should work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people have that desire to help. I mean, it's been going on since time in beginning. I mean, look at Andrew Carnegie. Mm-hmm. And the creation of all the libraries around the country with his own money. Dolly donating $1 million for vaccine research. Mm-hmm. This is the way our society was originally designed to work and functioned perfectly for generations, and we need to go back to it. But
I read a story about her the other day about how I don't know, this maybe 10 years ago, she was reading stories to a group of, you know, 3rd and 4th graders or something like that, and the data showed that, you know, in this particular area, I think in her part of Tennessee, that over half of those kids would drop out and knew that they were going to drop out before they got, you know, past 15 or 16. And she looked at them all and she told them that she had them all find a partner. And she said, if both of you graduate, you know, you get a $500 check from me when you graduate. And, you know, a huge number, I mean, almost all of the kids in that class graduated from high school. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is actually really great.
Yeah.
I wish there were more people who did stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay, silence.
Yeah, I know, right? So question number 7. The Danish government is in crisis after ordering the slaughter of a certain type of animal to prevent the spread of a potentially dangerous new strain of the coronavirus.
Good Lord.
Which type of animal is being culled in Denmark?
Mink.
I completely agree with you. I am 100% in agreement with you, and actually, so is Patricia. Patricia Bell also agrees. Mink. And yes, it is mink. Denmark ordered earlier this month to slaughter all of the farmed mink. Some 17 million has the Danish government in danger of collapse, with the Minister of Agriculture being forced to step down and right-wing parties accusing the government of using the pandemic trying to end mink farming in the country. So I had heard something about this, but I did not realize the extent that this was going on.
Yeah, I heard it in passing, so I knew that was what it was. But yeah, that's crazy. Of course, there's a conspiracy about it.
Oh, of course. Well, you know, anytime something like this, it's got to be a conspiracy. There's nothing else that it could be. But no, I mean, I don't agree with the government stepping in and controlling an industry to actually eradicate all of these animals. First of all, I'm surprised PETA has not put up every billboard in America over this. But yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. 17 million animals destroyed. I mean, over the potential.
Right, the potential, not these sick animals.
No, these weren't the sick animals. This is just every mink in Denmark has been eradicated because of this.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. This was a precautionary measure. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
No, that's a lot.
Oh, Laura, any reactions?
No. Certainly you got to feel badly for the people who, depend on, their livelihood for raising those mink and getting them to a certain point, so that they can be harvested. There's been talk over the years. You guys are probably too young. Mad cow back in the day when there was a lot of talk about that, about, what would happen if it came here and you'd have to destroy whole populations, everybody, all of these cattle. So, I think that there's all sorts of, it would have been disastrous for, for the farm economy, the agriculture economy. But I think
even look at what England did. They group tested their cattle, I think on a weekly basis. I could be wrong on that. But if that particular herd tested positive, then the herd was eliminated.
Yeah.
But they didn't destroy every cow in England over this.
It feels like it's a little different. It feels like it's a little different when you start talking about the food people eat versus, I don't think people eat mink, right? So that's a little bit, it's a little bit different. I
don't know, Scandinavians eat weird food, so maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, actually, I'm reading the rest because I only read that first paragraph, but they don't even know if the mutated version of coronavirus would be actually transmittable to humans.
See, that's crazy.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, it's all could be transmitted to humans or potentially transmitted to humans.
I'm on that conspiracy train now.
Yeah, this could have been. This is something that may have not even affected human population, this mutation. So, I don't know. That's that to me. I've got 3 dogs. I'm an animal lover. I have no shame about that. But I don't know. 17 million. That's crazy. Yeah. Next question. New Twitter feature allows users to post messages that vanish after 24 hours. This is called bleeps, fleets, greets, or meeps. I don't know why, but that tickles me to say.
I missed this one. I don't know.
Yeah. This one's because you're fleeting.
I'm thinking, I'm not a Twitter user. I have a Twitter account, but I think I've posted once a year on it. So any of my Twitter followers, I do apologize. I'm horrible at it. I'm thinking fleets.
Fleets, yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I just posted yesterday about how I can't hit the high notes and all I want to do. But I didn't fleet it.
Oh, good job.
Yeah, good guess.
On Tuesday, Twitter announced Fleets, a feature similar to Snapchat Stories, which allows users to post ephemeral photos or text that will automatically disappear in 24 hours. That's interesting.
So it's a whole new app?
No, I think it's actually integrated. So you could say that I want this as a tweet and it'll stay forever, or you do it as a fleet and it's temporary. I guess something like Facebook Stories.
I'm waiting for somebody to just say, okay, boomer in the comments, because all of us are like, what is this?
Right.
What's Twitter?
Well, I know what Twitter is, but I haven't seen the
just message. Time is fleeting. So that's where fleets come from. Fleeting. There you go. Okay. Next question. Unless we have conversation about that one.
No.
Yeah, we really are boomers, aren't we? What is Kim Ng, the first woman to do? Free climb the Golden Gate route up El Capitan, finish the marathon in 2 hours, lead midshipman at a U.S. Navy Academy, or run a baseball operations for a major league team.
I think it's the baseball thing.
I agree. I feel like I've heard of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Navy because that's what Glenn Fishman said.
Okay, so you're going Navy, and Laura and I are going baseball. So we're going to go baseball because it's 2-1. And yes, we're right. Baseball.
Yay.
Good job. I had no idea.
30 years ago, Miss Newton started as an intern for the Chicago White Sox, attempting to carve out a career in a sport dominated by men. Last Friday, she became the first woman hired to run a major league team baseball operation when she was named general manager of the Miami Marlins.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That is really, really awesome. I've never understood anything like that. I mean, to me, show me your ability and do the job. You know, I don't understand anybody's preconception of somebody's ability on what's between their legs or what color their skin is, or it. To me, it's just never made sense. But a lot of people are hung up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a lot of people that prove that they don't have the ability to do stuff too. Okay, question 10. What did scientists discover about platypus fur? It becomes thicker with age. It carries medicinal properties. It glows under black light, or it's full of tiny quills. So is this the porcupine in hiding? I have no idea about this.
I didn't even know they had fur. I thought it was like a seal.
Well, seals have fur too. Seal fur is one of the
They're mammals, you know.
Yeah,
I learned something.
It was actually one of the main sources of income during the Viking Age was seal fur. That's
This is why I don't know any of the answers. I thought a seal was like a wetsuit, like a fish without skin. Every single person now just knows how dumb I am about aquatic mammals.
I mean, hey, it's wet, so yeah, it does kind of look like a wetsuit. I get where you're going. I mean, that's actually really logical.
Neoprene seal skin, huh?
I don't know. I mean, I think becomes thicker with age or carries medicinal properties. Those I think we could throw out.
Did you see our treasurer's comment here?
Club seal.
Thanks, Tim.
I'm not going to share that because. Oh wow!
I thought that was just the babies.
That's just the babies.
Oh my
goodness.
Okay. Well, we've got people saying tiny quills. I don't know.
So Sabrina is saying tiny quills ? So she's not sure. I don't know. I mean, are we ready to say that that the porcupine, the platypus is the porcupine in waiting, or are we going to say that?
It's either that or it glows under black light. That's
that's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? Okay, yeah, full of tiny quills it is.
Okay.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Black light. Wow. Okay. Wow. I feel like an idiot.
You know what else glows under black light?
Consider the platypus. It's a perplexing animal. I think we've just proven that one. As long as Valerie doesn't go clubbing it. With webbed feet and a duck-like bill and the ability to lay eggs and produce venom. Wow, there's a lot about the platypus I did not know. Now added to the list, fluorescence. As noted last month in the journal Mammalia, They are one of the few mammals known to exhibit this trait. There is so much about the platypus I have no clue about, and I've just learned. I did not know they were venomous either.
The Wikipedia entry on platypuses is going to get
it's going to get
right
bombed today. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Platypus is a lot more interesting of an animal than I ever thought it was.
Glow in the black light. Like somebody was walking around with a black light flashlight. Scorpions also glow in the black light. If you have ever lived in the desert Northwest, you would know that. That's how
you go. I did not know that.
Yeah, we used to go out.
But in Arizona, that's probably an important thing to know. So
yeah, we had a black light flashlight, and we would go out the beginning of the season, at the end of the season, and just make sure that we didn't have any. But we live downtown, so generally not. If you live closer to town.
And my dog's accidents. I mean. Okay, last question. Who won this year's National Book Award for Fiction? Okay, so the options are. Let me bring that back up because I think we should read along here. Rimaman Alam for Leave the World Behind. Disha Filia for The Secret Life of Church Ladies. Douglas Stewart for Shuggy Bane. Or Charles Yu for Interior Chinatown. I read a lot of news, and I do not read a lot of fiction. So I have no idea.
I've read Leave the World Behind, and it seems to me like the kind of book that would get an award like that. But I don't know. But that's the only one I recognize.
Nobody's helping us.
The title. How old is it? I thought that came out a couple of years ago.
I don't know.
Because it won this year's National Book Award for Fiction.
Well, but it could be the 2020, and if it came out, at the end of 2019, I don't know what the time frame is. So I don't know.
I haven't read any of those books, and I'll agree with Laura.
But I don't know.
I recognize the title "Leave the World Behind," and yeah, so I'm okay with that. Laura, is that what we're going with?
Let's go with it because it might be wrong, but that's okay.
Hey, wouldn't be the first time that we're wrong.
No, that's right.
No, Charles Yu for Interior Chinatown. Charles Yu won the National Book Award for Fiction on Wednesday for his mind-bending satire, Interior Chinatown, a send-up of Hollywood and the Asian American stereotypes. Well, actually, before I clicked on the answer, I didn't see that Tyler had also said "Leave the World Behind." So we're not the only ones that fell for that one. So I'm there. We are in good company there. So yeah, that's wow. Again, that's amazing, and also shows that I do not read enough fiction. There you go. Oh.
You read too much news. That's why.
Right?
That's why
exactly. I read way too much news. On my phone, I have about 7 or 8 news apps, and even when I'm at red lights while I'm driving from home inspection to home inspection, when I'm at red lights, I pull up my phone and start reading news. I mean, I'm that addicted. I'm bad. I'm really, really bad. I only do it at red lights, though. So, I'm not driving and reading news articles. That would be really bad. Yeah, I know, exactly. Even though people who know me would probably say that that's not outside of the realm of reality, but no, I'm not that bad. So, yeah. Any recaps? Any other announcements? Anything that we want to say?
Well, let's see. We're going into a big LNC meeting this weekend.
Yes. Links to watch are already posted on lp.org. So, yeah, definitely. One of the best ways to actually make a difference in your party is be involved. And one of the best ways to know how to be involved is actually watch watch us do what we do, as boring as it might be. Especially this is a budget meeting, yeah, this one's going to be important, but probably hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we're all presenting a report this weekend, right, Eric?
I'm not.
You're not? Oh, I thought you were sheriff something.
No, not really. But that's okay.
Not really.
Yeah, no, I'm presenting the report on media, and you're doing candidate development. So we're I know my committee's bringing forward a new social media strategy, and we're already starting to work on the next project for the December meeting. I mean the January meeting, and that's going to be a full analyzation of the LP store and finding some other options out there. So that might be more profitable and actually ship things faster out to people who order on the LP store. So actually, as drudging as those numbers are, it is something that's actually really important and actually can have a great effect. So
yeah, definitely.
Valerie, what is your committee presenting this weekend, and do you have anything that's already in the works?
Yeah. Oh boy. The Affiliate Support Committee has got a lineup that you won't believe. We are going to be presenting the contests that we're going to be announcing next month. Or yeah, we're in December now. Can't keep track of the days anymore. And contests and all kinds of good stuff. Our goals for the upcoming term for 2021, we want to get at least 50 brand new affiliates throughout the country. I talked to the chair of New Jersey the other day, and he has a goal to get 21 in 21. So if that happens, then that's only leaving room for 29. Sorry, it takes me a minute. I'm not a math wizard. 29 new affiliates to take part of our goal. So I hope that all of the states have a lofty goal to follow along with us to get as many new affiliates as we can. I love it.
Valerie, I mean, Laura, I know you are involved in a lot of committees and stuff, even though you might not be presenting. I know a lot of committees that you're part of will be presenting. Is there anything that you wanted to share?
Well, I am the nominal facilitator right now for the Candidate Support Committee. We haven't been able to put together a full meeting, and I'm trying to duck the chair position for as long as I can. We haven't had a chance. We intend to meet with Apollo and Kara one of these days to try to get some input from them, and that committee has been sort of marginally active over the years. So we're trying to see where it fits into our chair's vision for the future. But obviously, we're all excited about what's happened in Wyoming. We're excited about the future of the Frontier Project. We're excited about the number of people who have told us, as we were making phone calls, I think we all made some phone calls after Election Day, the number of people who said, okay, so what do I need to do for next time? Mm-hmm. I had several people say, okay, what can we do? What should I be doing right now? It's like, give me 25 minutes to think about that.
I talked to a lot of people that are looking forward to running again.
Yeah.
That was probably the best thing that I heard. Everyone's excited, even when they lost. They were excited with the numbers that they got, and they were excited about the reception that they received from their fellow candidates and from the public and everything. So those are the things that really got me excited and actually made me relive when I ran for North Carolina State House. And yeah, exactly.
Campaigning is something I think that that's sort of like childbirth, that you'd never, in the moment you'd never do it again. And then, you'll have a little bit of time pass and you start thinking, well, there were good things about it, and so it'll be interesting. I after my last race in 2018, I said, never, never, never. Mm-hmm. And I'm still mostly probably not, but there were parts of it that I really enjoyed. So I think that a lot of people are like that, and so hopefully we'll get a great a great crew of people running all over the country for positions, both high and low, so to speak, and local, and we can make a lot of progress as libertarians, running people for school boards and city councils and county commissioners or superintendents, whatever you happen to call them. We have natural resource districts in Nebraska, is what they call them. And we have, if you just start looking, there are a lot of different government entities out there that people vote on, but they don't really realize that they're voting. You don't ever think about them. And we can make a big community college boards. I mean, we have 5 community college districts, I think, in Nebraska, and each of those community colleges has 7 or 8 board members on it. So I mean, you can there's a lot of things to run for, and libertarians need to get that experience and just running. And if they get elected, all the better, because then you have that experience. You kind of get a feeling for how things operate.
Yeah. And like I said,
that's our hour. Can you believe it?
I won't say what I said.
Oh wait, no, chime in. I'm sorry.
I know, I just saw the hour, but I just wanted to say, when I was talking to the folks, I'll keep it quick. I'm a runner. I'm speaking to the people who are runners who are watching. It's like when you finish a big race and you're like, wow, I can't walk up the stairs. Like, I feel like I'm going to die, but you're looking through your goodie bag from the race, and there's like all these pamphlets of all these other races that you could run. And you're like sitting on your computer, signing up for all these races. And so that's how I felt when I was talking to the people that ran. They're already like, even though it was blood, sweat, and tears, and not a lot of them won, they were like, felt so energized and felt so good the day after, 2 days after the election, that they were like, shit, let's do it again. And so I like that. I like that tenacity. I couldn't compare it to childbirth, because no, thank you. No more.
Yes, but you did have 4, so you must have forgotten about the misery after the first and second ones if you continued on.
The 4th one reminds me daily.
Oh, as always, it's absolutely amazing, and I always look forward to next week. And this show is nothing like childbirth, so so even all the better. Oh, but have a great night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And to Valerie and to Laura, thank you, and have a great night.
Night, Eric. Thanks.
Good night. Oh, wow. Valerie just signed off.